Jaxson Dart. And
Okay.
I think a lot of people thought that
It got a little spicy.
it did get a little bit spicy. I remember I was very high on him before the season even started last year. I thought he could be that difference maker that the Giants haven't had in a bit. I know Daniel Jones had that 1 year, but outside of that, really not much. Concussion has been a bit of a concern last season. I know he missed a couple of games, but seems like he always finds a way into the blue tent. I know he expressed his frustrations about that, but sent to the blue tent in the preseason opener to get checked out by an independent neurologist. Just what are your overall thoughts on this?
I understand being frustrated because obviously it takes you out of the drive. You got to come off the field and get evaluated. But when you watch that play, to me it makes sense as to why he got pulled out of the game. I mean, he got absolutely laid out. And not only that, it took him a second to get up. He was just laying there. So I feel like when you're watching that from the perspective of just, cautioning on the side of, or being on the side of caution when it comes to injury, you don't want to just let him stay on the field during that time when he could have a concussion. To me, it made sense, but I do understand the frustration.
And I mean, when you think about a guy that plays the position that he plays, and that being quarterback, you take into account some of the injury concerns from a few years ago. I think the whole Tua Tagovailoa situation really made the NFL really rethink about its concussion protocol and how they handle apparent injuries to the head or upper body area.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the way he also plays. Jaxson Dart plays a play style where it's kind of old school in the way where it's like, I'm going to run right through you on my way to the end zone. And that's not really something that you necessarily see out of a quarterback.
Right.
Him and Cam Scatterbo kind of have that same mentality where it's like absolute power running. I know Scatterbo's obviously the running back, Dart's the quarterback, but it's just
nice little duo.
It's a style that doesn't really hold up for too long, especially in the NFL when you're getting hit by guys that are 1.5 to 2 times bigger than you. I mean, those hits start to stack up, especially over the course of a season. And I mean, when you're talking about a Giants team that's supposed to be on the back end of a rebuild here, seems like they've got a quarterback. Cam Scatterbo went down with an injury last year. Malik Neighbors is coming back from an injury. I mean, this offense on paper looks very good.
They do.
The question is, can they stay on the field? And seeing your quarterback go into the blue tent
in the preseason
is not really a good sign.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, he got laid out. Like there was no protection for him in that play. I think he showed a lot of frustration, thinking, like, comparing himself to other people in the league, thinking that he gets pulled to the blue tent maybe more than others. But it might be to your point, just because of the style play that he plays.
Let's take a listen to Jaxson Dart on getting pulled into the blue tent.
As far as the blue tent, like I really respect the rules and the thought behind the NFL has of keeping players healthy and reviewing things, but at the same time, I'm still puzzled by it just feeling like every time that I get hit, I just find my way in there, which at times I still try to wrap my head around, but that's all that I'm going to say about that situation. I'm really happy with how the drive ended.
On the flip side of the equation, the whole reason why he got laid out was because Tyrone Tracy completely missed a block here.
Right.
I understand his frustrations.
Yeah,
but
I'm a little confused on his confusion, though.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's also the preseason, so like you can't be too upset about it. If anything, like if this was a regular season game and maybe there are some playoff implications on the line, it's a close game, late in the game, I'd understand. But it almost seems like he's trying to make something out of nothing.
I agree with you.
It's the preseason.
I
mean,
and they're, the people that are evaluating this are also still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? So maybe they're erring a little more on the side of caution just because it is the preseason.
Do you think Jaxson Dart should change his style of play? Because we talked about how he likes to run through people, and he has a mentality where he's like, all right, I'm going to be a power runner when I'm running with the football.
Yeah.
He has that killer mentality, so to speak. But at a certain point, it feels like something's going to catch up to him. Do you think he should change?
I don't know if we should say completely change, maybe save it a little bit for the big plays in the game, not be as just running through people the entire game.
Yep.
But it's kind of what makes him special. Like, it kind of is what stands out about him as a quarterback.
I almost want to make a reference to something that I talked about on last week's show, and that Paul Skeens hasn't really been the same pitcher without the velocity. It almost feels like when you take away a defining attribute about somebody, there's the potential is greater for them not to be that same player if you take that away from him.
For sure.
I think that's something that defines who Jaxson Dart is, even going back to his time at Ole Miss. Like, he loved the spotlight.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember there were clips of him, he always knew where the camera was, especially during
he wanted to make the big play.
Wanted to make the big play, wanted to, get on camera, look really cool for all the people at home. However, I think his best trait moving forward could be his availability.
Yeah.
Because I know Jameis Winston looked pretty good in that game when he was called upon.
Yeah.
But you can't really rely on Jameis Winston at this point. I mean, this Giants team, we had talked about it. We expect them to be a lot better under a Harbaugh-led team.
Yeah.
However, if you're losing your top quarterback due to injury because he keeps on trying to run through everyone, and all of a sudden he's on the sideline for 4 or 5 games because he came up with an injury trying to scramble and trying to run over a defensive lineman that's 390 pounds.
Yeah.
That's like one of those things where it's like, all right, come on, what are we doing? Like, we need to think twice about trying to run through that defender that's 2 times the size of you.
I think, too, if you can use Cam to his full potential here and kind of let him be the guy that takes a lot of the hits, I think that will help a lot for this New York Giants team. But yeah, to your point, I think you got to save Jaxson. You got to keep him on the field because their backup isn't going to take them to the playoffs.